Overhead acts such as swimmers, volleyball players, baseball, softball players, and lacrosse players subject their arms to unique stresses when working overhead. To appropriately prepare for overhead activity, particular attention needs to be given to the following: range of motion of the shoulder and strength of the rotator cuff and scapular stabilizing muscles. This activity is called the sleeper stretch, and it is used to gain internal rotation of the shoulder. Jenna's positioning, she's side lying and she has her arm flexed to 90 degrees. So by 90 degrees, I mean straight ahead, not too far up towards her head or not too far down towards her chest. She is right at a 90-degree angle, and her elbow is also bent to 90 degrees. Her head is leaning against her shoulder because as she does that internal rotation, she wants to stabilize that shoulder joint. So Jenna will put her hand on top and she will slowly draw her palm down towards the table. She does not have to go any further than when she starts to feel some motion and a stretch in her shoulder. A good form of reference on this is 3 to 5 reps of 30 seconds. You're going to demonstrate some scapular stabilization exercises. For these exercises, Jenna is going to be prone or face down on the table, and her arm is going to be bent over the edge of the table. The first one she's going to do is she's going to create a fist and have her thumb facing outward. She's going to slowly bring her arm up to the level of the table and slowly back down. What we're focusing on here is slow and controlled movement, and you want them to feel a little bit of pinching between their shoulder blades. Very good. The next exercise in the same position, the only difference is her thumb is going to be down. Same motion up, slow to the level of the table, pinch the shoulder blades together, and back down. All of these motions are slow and controlled. This is the third scapular stabilization exercise. Jenna's again going to have her thumb up. She's going to bring her arm up again to the level of the table in a Y position. As she comes up, she's again squeezing her shoulder blades together. You do not have to go any higher than the level of the table. You don't need to go so high that your chest is coming off the table. Slow and controlled motions. All of these exercises can be done 3 sets of 10. In this case, we're working on her throwing shoulder. If you want to maintain symmetry, you can do it on the other side, but focus on the shoulder that you throw with or that's your dominant arm. The individual can add weight to these exercises, but what you should keep in mind, these are small muscle groups, so you do not need to incorporate a large weight. You don't have to be lifting heavy weights. 1, 2, or 3 pounds should be sufficient for these exercises. This exercise is called the scapular punch or the ceiling punch. Jenna is lying on her back, her arm is flexed to 90 degrees, and she's making a fist, or she can have a low weight, 1, 2, or 3 pounds. I would suggest starting with no weight. The motion of this exercise is to punch straight up towards the ceiling and bring your arm back down slowly. A general tendency during this exercise is for your shoulder to shrug up towards your ear. If you're seeing yourself do that, make an effort to push your shoulder blade down. So you're going straight up towards the ceiling and back down. 3 sets of 10 reps is adequate for this exercise. This exercise is called the wall push-up. Proper technique for this exercise: your legs should be shoulder width apart, your palms should be on the wall, and your thumbs should be at about the height of your shoulders. Lower your chest towards the wall. Push yourself back. You do not want your chest to dip in towards the wall. You want to maintain
flat back. You're keep the flat back.
For this exercise, your feet should be shoulder width apart, palms on the wall, and your thumb should be at the height of your shoulders. Slowly bring your chest towards the wall and push yourself back. You do not want to dip your chest close to the wall. You want to maintain a flat back and pinching your shoulder blades together. Next, we're going to focus on the rotator cuff group strengthening. This is an exercise band. You can tie this to your doorknob at home. Jenna is going to start with her elbow flexed at 90 degrees, and she's going to be working on internal rotation. It is important to have a wedge between your arm and your side. In this case, we have a rolled up towel. So Jenna is focusing on bringing her arm directly across her chest into internal rotation. 3 sets of 10 are adequate for this exercise. This exercise focuses on external rotation of the shoulder. Jenna has her arm flexed to 90 degrees. We have the wedge under her arm. She's bringing her arm into external rotation. She does not have to go much past the level of her shoulder to get a decent strengthening exercise. 3 sets of 10 reps is sufficient. Next, we will demonstrate internal rotation of the shoulder with the arm flexed to 90 degrees. So Jenna's arm and elbow are at 90 degrees. Slowly internally rotate your shoulder, bringing your palm towards the ground as she goes down. Tendency is to let the band sling your arm back. The goal here is to have a slow and controlled motion. This will strengthen your rotator cuff appropriately.